Yeah, well, like what you're doing there in Buffalo to feed the needy because of the pandemic, there are a lot of hurting families. And what we've done is we've taken and we would get we've had 300 families, and we didn't want to give the one-time meal. So what we did was gave the turkey, the dressing, the mashed potatoes, the we gave the bread, we gave the mixed the vegetables, the corn, and all that stuff. We gave them so that they could cook at home and be with their families, because with the pandemic like it is, no one can go out and get together and eat. So we made it possible so that the families could eat together.
Wow. Well, that sounds good. Thank you, JD. I know you got to go. I appreciate you coming on. It was great meeting you and talking to you. And hopefully we can get you back on soon.
And I hope that some of these other guys that Ryan and I've talked about, we're contacting some other guys that can possibly be a part of this, like Joe DeLamiere, and we talked to the Buffalo Bills organization directly today, and hopefully we can get Joe Ferguson, some of those old Bills involved, and Booker Edgerson, the guys that are there in Buffalo that can get involved, because they're always looking to help. And so this is a great cause and a great opportunity. And I truly do understand it. Believe me, I understand the need and that people are having, and that's no fault of their own. It's just the situation, circumstances of today.
Yeah, we are. We're here in Buffalo, and so we've got our mission is to feed 100 families for Christmas. So we're trying to raise $5,000. Greg Williams from the Buffalo Bills and his wife, Dr. Erin Shannon, they put in the first $200 donation. So that's 4 families we're going to be able to feed. So we've got 96 more families in Buffalo we're going to feed by Christmas. And so that's the same thing we're trying to do. People that are listening, if you go to GoFundMe.com/StrikeOutHungerBuffalo, that is our GoFundMe. You'll see Dr. Erin Shannon and Greg's donation that is in there. And so that's why we came on today, was to promote trying to help Buffalo. We've got the highest COVID rates in New York right now. And so as shutdowns continue to affect the region, businesses are shut down. Families don't know what Christmas is going to look like. And so we're on our mission with a company in Buffalo called Conversion Monster, a startup. And that's our goal, is to raise $5,000, feed 100 families by Christmas. And so JD has been a tremendous help as far as resources and folks that we know. So definitely appreciate you. We will be in contact with you. And I appreciate everything that you've done to help out.
Hey, Ryan, our ministry is based on Proverbs 29:18. It says, where there is no vision, the people shall perish. And our ministry is called Catch the Vision. And that's what you've done. You've caught the vision, and you've got others like that on this podcast that have also caught the vision and have a heart for the hurting. And so I look forward to talking with you, doing whatever I can. I mean, it's great talking with you, Coach and First Lady. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again sometime. And once again, for that young lady, if you was out there on that field talking about being a linebacker, I'd have to take you out.
Oh, bring it.
Wow.
Never
Fine words,
got my
dude.
back. I just want to
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, then.
All right.
Thank you, JD. Appreciate it. It was JD Hill, wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. This is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show. The interim conversation had to do with the First Lady of the NFL, and that is Coach Jen Welter, followed by one of my favorite Steelers, who was a monster on the field, but not the same off the field, LeVon Kirkland, to the show. Ryan Paepke, obviously part of this GoFundMe project that we currently have right now. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on in New York right now. There's moves by Governor Blasio to continually put up checkup points because the COVID situation is so out of control there. And this is not just a football problem. This is an American problem. This is a people problem. And the best thing that you can do is go to GoFundMe.com. And then /strikeout hunger in Buffalo, because those people are really suffering right now with the highest COVID rates, as Ryan just alluded to, going on right now. Coach, I have to ask you, as as it pertains to everything that's going on right now, people starting to contribute. It looks as though Coach Greg Williams was able to put something in, as well as his wife contributing the first $200. What would be your ploy to get people involved in this in order to get them to want to help those that are in a very horrible situation right now in Buffalo?
I think this is the time when we can all dig in and say, where can I move the needle? Right? Like there were so many things that it feels like it's so big that maybe it's so overwhelming that you don't know where that you could help. This is a way that you can take something that you have and you feel good about and can donate to move the needle. Think about what it would take to move the needle for one family to change their dynamics. Because if everybody listening just commits to changing one family's holiday, we'll have a whole lot of families who have relief in this time. So it doesn't have to be huge, right? You don't have to move mountains by yourself, right? Think about how much good we can do if we all just lift up and carry the weight for one family, right? Like that's why we're here. I mean, you have like a football family reunion going on. You get to hear stories from us that you never heard. You didn't know how close Kirk and I were, did you? You didn't even know when you asked me, did you? I saw him on and I was like, oh my gosh, big virtual hug. I love you, right? That was like a lift my spirits holiday moment, right? And so each one of us has the power to bring that love and joy to a family that may not feel like they're loved and cared for right now. And you can do that for somebody by digging in and just giving what you have. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like it's too much. Anything that you give is going to be a huge, huge gift and a huge blessing to whomever receives it.
Sure. Absolutely. You know, there are a lot of needy people around the country right now. It's not just in Buffalo, but when you're talking about COVID strains, you're talking about occupancy at hospitals. People can't see their loved ones in there. I've been affected by, I don't know, I can't say of anybody that I don't know that has not been affected by COVID. My mom, my great uncle, my sister. I mean, it's almost as if we know someone, and of course that person may be your brother, your sister in Buffalo, where this pandemic has just taken on a whole nother entity. And unfortunately, it's not the good kind. It's a very bad kind. People are dying across the country right now. But and to your point, Coach, when you're talking about moving the needle, I think that if we can max that RPM out to like 12,000 RPM, when talk about moving the needle, you're pushing that thing to the actual limit. I think that's something that people can really sink their teeth into. GoFundMe.com/strikeout hunger Buffalo. We're gonna move over to my favorite, one of my favorite Steelers of all time, LeVon Kirkland. LeVon, welcome to the Rude Dog Show. This is a special edition. We're talking about COVID, and clearly this has affected everyone. What are your thoughts on it? What would be the encouraging words to get someone to continue helping, to continue seeing this, and to want to help, because they obviously know someone who's involved in the process of either going to the hospital or getting out of quarantine and not really having anything to, eat because the families just can't afford it because businesses are closing down?
Well, I always believe that people want to help. And I think a lot of times is that you got to make them recognize that we all have skin in the game. If we look at cancer and how it has affected someone at some point in time, people are willing because they have experienced that. I feel that COVID is the same way that, it doesn't care about your race. It doesn't care about your gender, your economic status. It doesn't care about any of that. It's going to come like a thief in the night, and it's going to try to wipe up anybody it can possibly wipe up. So I think you just have to let people know and get them aware of what's really going on. And, I think unfortunately the virus wasn't really taken seriously at first. And people just kind of like, I'm not wearing my mask. You're You're going against my freedom. Now they see the numbers rising, and everybody's like, well, wait a second. This is a real threat. And I think you just have to continue to let people know and really feed to their good side of giving, because I really feel that most people want to give back if they can possibly give back. And like I said, like you said, Jen said, it can really affect anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. So I look at it in that standpoint. And I think if you let people be aware of what's happening, then they're gonna step up to the plate and do what they can.
Hopefully so. That is the designation. Of course, I'm joined on the Rude Dog Show by Steelers great LeVon Kirkland and the first female head coach in the NFL, Coach and Dr. Jen Welter.
Rudy,
You know,
Rudy just had something really cool happen. So this is my friend's company. It's called Alamar. And why I fell in love with them. First of all, if there's ladies watching, hi. This is an attitude that we come with. You know, we're gonna slay all day. I don't necessarily. I'm not as holiday, I guess, proper as some people. Like I have to bring a little attitude, right? I'm a linebacker. We always have swag. But the reason I fell in love with this company, what Alamar is doing, is check it out. Everybody has problems with their masks as they go out and forget it. I would be one of them. It's built in.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I like that.
Okay. So my girl Allie just came in to drop it off. This is our prototype, and she heard what we were talking about, and she said, you know, if anybody wants to come in and, you know, get a sweatshirt for a gift for somebody, we'll make sure that we donate a percentage of the proceeds through her website for the cause that we're talking about right now. So that was just like a kind of a God moment, right? Like she walked in and she's going in the back. She's like, put it on. And I'm like, I got you. So I wouldn't necessarily do an on-air wardrobe change, but
Sure.
you know, sometimes you just got to be the change. So I'm going to remind you, like, you know, I'm just going to say, don't talk about it, be about it. And so, like, you know, build in the mask up. Because for me, I might forget, right? Especially if my dog wants to go out and this, that, and the other. And, you know, but if you got your sweatshirt on, you're always covered. So if y'all want to slay all day, we'll slay COVID all day. I don't care. I'm good.
Well, I think everybody wants to slay COVID right now, especially in 2020. I can't imagine what it's going to look like in 2021. That's another story for another day. Ryan, there's something you wanted to share in regards to being relative to what we're talking about, the GoFundMe.com Strikeout Hunger Buffalo cause. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So I work for a local Buffalo startup company, and we're one of the few companies in Buffalo who's actually done really well this year. And to see the struggling and suffering going on is tough. I got a lot of friends in the restaurant business, and they're not doing well because everything is shut down. And so we came up with this concept of, hey, we're going to put some donations, some of our revenue in to start feeding families for Christmas. Because as soon as 3 weeks ago, they shut Buffalo down. And, here we're back to the same restrictions. And it's like, well, it's, sitting and watching the news is depressing. Like I'm one of those people, like I like to get up and do something about it. And that's kind of my background. I've done nonprofit stuff. Last year, I raised $200,000 and I got 20 ex-athletes with no pensions, free stem cells. There was a guy who pitched for the Nationals named Micah Bowie, and he was supposed to die in June of last year. He went through 4 years of a pension appeals to have his MLB pension denied. And it was kind of like, well, he's just going to move to Colorado and kind of die in the hills. And I was like, that's no way we're going to let this happen. And so what I did is we raised $30,000 in 5 days. We got him 3 rounds of stem cells. And then from there, I raised another $170,000. So last year we put together $200,000, 20 guys without pensions, mostly minor league guys that were blue collar athletes their whole lives, got stem cells. And it was going really well. And COVID happened and everything went bad. The place that was funding us moved overseas, the stem cell hospital, the nonprofit. I was working with the oldest nonprofit in pro baseball. A nonprofit founded by Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb in 1923, had this great program going. And when we can't fundraise, we can't do events, we can't do donations, they kind of folded up. And so, here we are. I got to do something, man. I can't just sit here and watch this stuff and not do anything about it. And you know, this is something that's easy. It's low risk. Let's just get out there and help some folks and feed them on Christmas dinner. I know what it's like to know people that have had holidays with no family, no friends, nothing to do. And so if we can put some kind of a little bright spot where it's just helping people with Christmas dinner, man, it would be amazing to us and our company and the folks that we work with and the people of Buffalo. It's just kind of a bright spot we really want to make happen.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I didn't do anything for Thanksgiving either, but by God's graces, one of the managers that I work with over at the station that I'm at in Fresno, California, almost forced a few plates of food my direction. And I said, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. But, I'm good. I'll find a way, I'll find a way. And he basically showed up with 2 bags of food that I obviously refused initially, with all the fixings, the trimmings, the cranberry sauce, the whole 9 yards. That's the kind of thoughtfulness that we need to have now and moving forward. And I cannot thank him enough for doing any of that. And you'd mentioned, how businesses are folding up shop and closing doors and not really taking a part of what's going on for whatever reason, albeit money, because of the restrictions, and they're not having any fluid income. So they have to close the houses down, close the businesses down. And the sad thing is that when people, the small business owners, lose that flow of income, they're likely to maybe lose their own residence, and they have children, and those children are part of their family, and they have their wives wondering what's going to happen. How are we going to feed our kids? How does that work? Well, GoFundMe.com/strikeout hunger in Buffalo, Strikeout Hunger Buffalo can actually help change that in regards to the income, in regards to fluid motion. For those that are watching, this is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show with the first female head coach in the NFL, Coach and Dr. Jed Welter, as well as former Steelers great LeVon Kirkland. Ryan Paepke putting this all together from what he does best and trying to do his best. And I think everybody can probably do their best as well. This isn't a telethon. This is more like a conversation we're really having, because this is real time with real people being affected in real ways. And Coach, I wanted to touch on that, on that sweater. You said slay all day. That's fantastic. And it comes with a built-in mask. That does not get any better. She's posing for the camera with that wonderful sweater. And I think for those that are missing their mask in a holiday assortment kind of way, and I could see that actually going around the neck, making it a little bit warm as well. I think that would also pay off with those brisk winds in Buffalo. Perhaps maybe not so much in LA, but maybe in Buffalo. That can be very cautious. And for those that forget their mask, I know I do. I can't think of one person who has not forgotten. LeVon, have you been anywhere and forgot your mask?
Well, you do it all the time. I've gone to the grocery store, wherever I've gone, and you almost walk halfway there and you're like, oh man, I forgot my mask. You have to come back and get it. So yeah, especially at first, when it first came around March or so. Yeah, I think everybody did that, but if it just forgot it, you're not accustomed to wearing. Now it's kind of the opposite. I get in the car and I still got my mask on for a while and I'm still driving. And like, oh, I don't really have to have my mask on. So yeah, it's been some adjustment as far as putting something on your face that's really, you're like, man, I can't really breathe that well. I can work out in my mask now. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that I can actually work out in my mask. At one point in time, it was hard for me to walk with that mask on. So yeah, I think we all been through it where we just kind of forget that we're supposed to be having our mask on. So
right, exactly. So Coach, where can they go to get those?
That smile, Kirk. You just didn't want them to know that you were nice. That's why you're wearing it now with the workout, because they won't know how nice you are.
Well, my sisters, man, they used to get on me all the time about having this big old smile and being a teddy bear. So yeah, I try to disguise it now. And now people just, they don't approach me anyway. So you can imagine now, if I have some shades on and I have a black mask, they're definitely not going to approach me. So
Except
Yeah,
I don't know I approach you, but maybe I just don't know any better.
I just think that you're just a totally brave. And you know, you're just not intimidated by much.
A
So
brave soul, a
I was
brave
the
soul.
least of your worries.
Coach, where can people go to actually get that? So part of those proceeds would go to the GoFundMe.com strikeout Buffalo Hunger Buffalo.
It is Al, help them.
AlmarApparel.com.
ALMAR apparel.com. I didn't want to add an extra letter, but it's
ALMAR
apparel.com.
AlmarApparel.com. Okay.
Yep,
Fair
you
enough.
Play all day. It's forget your mask proof. And, we have a whole lot of attitude, and we'll make sure that, we get some good done. Because literally this is the first one off the presses. We've been working on them, to have some holiday attitude. And this just, like I said, it was a timing blessing. She walked in and she was like, I was like, okay.
Not even up on the site yet.
Yeah, it's not even up on the site yet. So we'll get you
Today.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's going to be on the site today. So allow us to help you with these. We really just wanted to bring, some holiday attitude, because it's such a tough Christmas, right? Like my family is across the country. I'm in California. We're on la lockdown, right? Like literally that's what LA stands for, la lockdown. And my family's in Florida. So we were trying to figure out a way that we could, send love and care for each other, right? With something that was, kind of had a little bit of my attitude that would let me just like run up to Kirk. And, right now he wouldn't let me. He'd Heisman me because of COVID, right? I'd try and like hug him and he'd be like, nope.
Yeah, we have to get the elbow bump at this point in time,
Good elbow bump, but normally I would like love to, run up and hug Big Kirk if I saw him, but thankfully we have the social distancing version. So we were really just trying to figure out the best way that we could bring holiday cheer and a little bit of attitude and also safety, right? With the built-in mask. And this is what we came up with. And now it's here. So perfect timing.
Well, timing is everything. Speaking of timing, we have a little bit of time left on here. When it comes to what's going on in Buffalo right now, this is kind of a big deal. This is not small time. Buffalo is completely populated. They're very compressed. They have probably more people inside of Buffalo than you probably imagine. And all these people are being affected. This isn't just selected families. This isn't like flip a coin and see who gets food tonight. This is affecting every single person. So if there's a way that you can contribute, anybody can go do this. This is easy. Everybody's glued in front of their TVs, their iPads, their cell phones. I mean, this is not a difficult thing to do. GoFundMe.com/strikeout Hunger Buffalo. You can certainly go there. It's easy to do. We're not asking for $1 million. Not to say that wouldn't help, but we're being realistic with what you have available, what you can spare. And we certainly appreciate anything you can put in there. This link will be put on TheRudeDogShow.com. You're going to find it on my Facebook page. I'll post it on LinkedIn. I'm reaching high and reaching low, and have a pretty vast network. So hopefully somebody picks this up, clicks on it, and is able to do some good for somebody else, because if their family has whatever they need, there's another family that may not. So let's put that into context. Let's really be realistic with what we can do versus what we can't do. And right now, what we need to do is come together in times just like this, just like I have this wonderful cast here joining me here on the Rude Dog Show. So GoFundMe.com/strikeout Hunger Buffalo. Make sure you guys check it out. This is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show. Coach and doctor. That's amazing. First female coach in the NFL, Coach Jen Welter. I like to call him the Midway Monster, but not in the Midway. This is a black and gold thing for the Steelers. One of the most feared linebackers in the 90s, LeVon Kirkland, joins me here on the Rude Dog Show. Again, one of my favorite Steelers. I don't know how many times I could say this, because I've had LeVon on at least twice now, and I certainly appreciate you, LeVon, for coming on. Coach, it's been a pleasure. First time coming on. We're probably going to have to do this again on a different format, but I certainly appreciate you coming on as well. Thank you
Hey,
both.
that's what we do, right? Like, that's what family does. We step up for each other and, get strong for other people. And, for anybody who's thinking about donating, let me tell you something. You would not have known what a complete sweetheart, Kirk, a monster killer is if you had not been on today. I mean, that in and of itself is at least worth what you would pay for a Starbucks cup of coffee to hear just that story from us. So even if you just push to that level, pass up one day of Starbucks, okay? It really could make a difference to make somebody's holiday. And I know Kirk is worth more than Starbucks, right? So now if you want the really good stuff, you step it up to, passing up on something else. I'm just saying, I'm pimping out Kirk right here.
I see that. Yeah, you're doing an amazing job at it. But everybody would know,
I'm your hype girl.
everybody would know if they met you what a fireball you are. And it's good talking to you again. I really I miss our relationship.
Hey, you have my number. Anything I can ever do for you, do not hesitate. It is as much love as I could possibly have, because as I say, like, I have been blessed to have some like the best football family you could ever ask for. And to me, the part that people didn't really expect was like the love that guys like you would have for me. And I think through that kind of love, where we really do genuinely like have each other's back, it can change so many things and break down so many barriers that just exist in people's perceptions, not in reality. And I will champion that to the ends of the earth. So, you've got a little fiery linebacker person who has your back to the end of time.
Let's do it. And we also, just so you guys know, I spent money with the company I work for. I work for a place called Conversion Monster. So we spent a bunch of money. Friday, we sent out a press release nationwide. So I'm looking to have in the next 2 weeks, probably a bunch of the network affiliates start to reach out. And we got to do this quick because Christmas is coming. $5,000, very doable. Feed 100 families, make a difference, and do our own thing for Christmas and do something that's positive during a place in COVID where it's not looking great right now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Ryan. I think a lot can be said for those who are able to give, who can give. And to be quite honest with you, everybody knows what it's like right now. Everybody understands the fist bumps. Everybody understands the social distancing. Everybody respects the fact that you have to put yourself in a situation that doesn't allow for you to harm others and for others to harm you. So mask up, stand up, be accounted for, and help others who are in need, because you would want someone to come to your rescue if you were the one who were in need. So let's put that reality check in play. GoFundMe.com/strikeout Buffalo. This is Rudy Reyes, joined by a fantastic crew. Check this video out. Again, that link will be on TheRudeDogShow.com. I'll have a LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you can find me, that link will be posted. I'm more than confident Ryan will have his own link up there, as well as that amazing press release. I actually had a chance to look at that. Very, very well done, I might add, Ryan.
Thanks,
so
man.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time. LeVon, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was last minute, but I could not thank you more. And
no problem.
And I certainly appreciate your time, and hopefully everybody will be able to give back to this worthy cause. Coach, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Again, waiting till now is not always a bad thing, but good things come to those who wait. So I like to consider myself in that manner. So thank you again for coming on and taking your time out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Very, very appreciative.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Have a great day and Merry Christmas to everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Christmas. Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.